Hello friends, this is Josie with KnitChats. I'm going to do a mini tutorial today on the idea of assigned pooling. This particular pattern is by Dawn Barker and it's called Float and is one of the first patterns that was out there using this concept of assigned pooling. It was actually developed by Dawn Barker, and she has so many patterns out there now, as well as others who've caught on to this fun little technique. Essentially, the idea is that you are going to use a yarn that is specifically dyed for this assigned pooling technique. And you want to look for a yarn that has a background color. In this case, it's a light gray, and then a pop of color. So the ratios would be 75% of a background color and 25% of the pop color. So this one is by Wonderland Yarns, and it's really quite fun. So this is how it goes. So basically you're going to let the yarn dictate when you do your fun little stitch. And in this pattern, Float, Dawn Barker calls this little stitch pattern a Floret Cluster. So I'm going to go ahead and show that to you. So I've knit across, and this is all in my background color, but now I'm approaching my pop color, the fun color. So this is when you will work the floret stitch. So I will go right up here, and here we go. This next stitch is where it begins. Okay. So we're going to knit 5, but wrapping each stitch twice. 1, 2, pulling the yarn through and off the needle. So we'll do this 4 more times. Okay, and now we turn. Now we're going to slip these 5 double wrapped stitches back to the right hand needle. And we release those extra wraps as we slip them over. Now we're going to put them back on the left hand needle. And then we're going to have our yarn in back. We're going to slip our right hand needle into all 5 of those stitches, knitwise. And now we're going to knit into all of these stitches, but don't slip them off. And then we're going to purl into those stitches. So that means we bring the yarn forward, and then we insert our needle as if to purl. Okay, we're not going to pull it off the needle yet. Knit again. Purl again. And then one last time, we're going to knit into all of these stitches. So you will notice that we have done this 5 times, and you've got 5 loops on your needle. Okay, so now we'll slip that off, and then we turn. Now we're going to knit across these 5 stitches. So that should use up all of the color portion of the strand of yarn. And the result is this fun little floret stitch. And then we continue to knit across until we get to the next blip of color. And then we just do that again. So you'll notice there are there's these like gaps in between, or excuse me, on each side of the floret stitch. And that's just the nature of this stitch. When you knit back across, everything will close up as you purl back. And as you'll see, there could even be stitches on top of each other. But that's what makes it pretty fun. There is also, when you go on to the flip side and you come across a color, you come across the blip in the on the wrong side, you would do a very similar, you would work the stitch almost the same way, but on the purl side. Okay, and that's pretty much it. It's so fun. You really get the hang of it after you do a few of these, and then it just becomes a pretty fun knit. And it's an exercise in letting go and just letting the yarn take you along this really fun path. Happy knitting!